He wasn't even supposed to be in the room. I still remember the way everyone looked at him that morning, like he had walked into the wrong meeting, because technically, he had. The intern orientation was full of polished young professionals, each with their Ivy League degrees and perfect resumes. And then there was him. Liam, jeans too worn, a faded backpack, no clipboard, no smug smile, just quiet eyes that scanned the room like he didn't quite fit in, but didn't seem to care either. When I asked HR why he was here, they fumbled through the paperwork and whispered, he wasn't on the original list. His application came in last minute, but the CEO signed off. That made no sense. Our CEO barely approved his own schedule, let alone random interns. People rolled their eyes. Some laughed under their breath. A college dropout. I overheard one of the analysts scoff. Good luck surviving a week here. But something about Liam made me pause. He didn't try to impress anyone. He didn't need to be the loudest. He just watched, listened, like he saw things the rest of us didn't. And I didn't know it then, but I was looking at the one person who would save us all. I'm Emma, the CEO's assistant and closest advisor. I've been at this company for over 10 years, long enough to see it rise from a small startup to an industry leader. I know every corner of this building, every client's name, and every late-night crisis the CEO has faced. I thought I knew exactly how to keep this company strong. But lately, things have been different. Our company wasn't unstoppable anymore. The spark had faded. We used to be the ones setting the trends, breaking the mold. Now clients were slipping through our fingers. Competitors were catching up fast, stealing market share, and leaving us scrambling. Innovation, it had slowed to a crawl. Ideas got stuck in meetings and lost in endless emails. No one wanted to take risks anymore. Everyone was playing it safe, too safe. Morale was sinking too. People showed up, but you could tell they were just waiting for the clock to strike 5. The energy was gone. I watched the CEO grow more desperate by the day. He spent hours staring at charts that showed losses instead of growth. The weight of the company felt heavier on his shoulders. That's why when he ordered an internship program, something completely out of the norm, I wasn't surprised. He wanted fresh ideas, a new energy, someone to shake things up. But I didn't expect the choice he'd make. Little did I know, this seemingly reckless decision would bring the one person who could turn everything around, and that person wasn't who anyone expected. The CEO was desperate. I could see it in every tight line on his face, in the way he tapped his pen against the conference table during meetings. He needed something, anything, to pull us out of the slump. So he called HR and said, "Start an internship program, bring in fresh blood. Shake things up." HR scrambled. They posted ads, sifted through piles of applications, and set up interviews. Everyone expected top candidates, students from prestigious schools, with perfect GPAs and endless internships already under their belts. Then came Liam. He wasn't on anyone's radar. No fancy degree, no impressive resume, no flashy connections. Just a simple application, submitted last minute, that somehow slipped through the cracks. When I first saw his name on the list, I thought it was a mistake. He showed up on his first day wearing old jeans and a plain t-shirt, carrying nothing but a worn-out backpack. No portfolio, no elevator pitch, nothing that screamed future CEO. Honestly, I was skeptical. I figured he'd last maybe a week before reality hit him hard and he quietly disappeared, like so many others. The office buzzed with whispered doubts. Some of the senior staff barely hid their contempt. Why waste resources on a dropout? One sneered. We should be focusing on the best talent, not charity cases. But the CEO. He said nothing. He just watched Liam quietly settle into his spot at the edge of the room, eyes always alert, absorbing everything. I decided to give him a chance, not because I believed in him, but because sometimes, even in failure, there's a lesson to learn. Little did I know, Liam wasn't just any intern, he was exactly what this company desperately needed. And the moment he opened his mouth, everything started to change. Liam was quiet at first. He never tried to impress anyone, or jump into conversations. Instead he watched. He listened. Every meeting, every presentation, every casual chat at the coffee machine, he took it all in like a sponge. Then after a few days, He started asking questions, not the usual intern stuff like where's the printer, or can I get a coffee? No, his questions were different. Why do we still use this software? He asked during a team meeting. Have we considered how this process slows down development? He said after a presentation. Is there a reason we haven't tried this approach before? People laughed, some rolled their eyes. Who is this kid to question years of experience? I heard a manager whisper, but I watched Liam closely. He didn't ask questions to show off, he asked because he was trying to understand something deeper. One afternoon, I saw him hunched over a workstation long after everyone else left. He had pulled apart one of our failing systems, something we'd given up on months ago. He was tracing code, drawing diagrams, making notes. The next day he came to me quietly, his eyes bright with an idea. I think I've figured out why the system crashes, he said, and I have a way to fix it. It's a bit unconventional, but it could work. I was skeptical, but I agreed to let him explain it to the team. At first there was silence, then murmurs, then shocked looks. He wasn't just fixing problems, he was reimagining how we did business, a wild creative solution no one else had considered. For the first time in months, I saw hope flicker in the eyes of some of my coworkers, and maybe, just maybe, Liam was the spark we'd been missing all along. Not everyone was ready to accept Liam's ideas. Behind closed doors, the CEO's board and senior staff were ruthless. Who does he think he is, barging in with half-baked theories? One executive sneered, he's not even qualified, another added. A college dropout, what could he possibly know about running a real business? The words cut through the air like knives. I remember catching Liam later that day, sitting alone in the empty break room. His shoulders were slumped, eyes fixed on the floor, but there was no anger in him, only quiet hurt. I didn't want to disturb him at first, but something made me sit down beside him. Hey, I said softly, don't let them get to you. He looked up surprised, and gave a small tired smile. They don't see me, he said. They only see the dropout, not the person who's been working nights to figure this out. In that moment, I realized Liam wasn't just some lost kid fumbling through an internship. He was carrying more weight than anyone knew. Something inside me shifted. I started to see him not as a mistake, but as a hidden strength. Maybe this dropout had more to offer than we all gave him credit for. And maybe, just maybe, I could help him prove it. After that day, I couldn't stop thinking about Liam. There was something about him, something real and raw, that I couldn't ignore. So I did something I rarely do. I invited him into my office, behind closed doors. At first he looked nervous, like he wasn't used to being trusted, but when he started talking, his whole demeanor changed. He was no longer the quiet intern everyone doubted. He was confident, focused, and full of ideas. He laid out a plan, a bold, risky idea that could bring our company back from the edge. A new product that wasn't just a tweak or an update, but a complete reinvention of how we connected with our clients. It was unlike anything we'd tried before, something fresh and exciting that would capture attention and rebuild trust. I listened carefully, feeling a mix of fear and hope. The idea was dangerous. Yes, it could fail spectacularly, and make us look even worse, but if it worked, it could change everything. I told him, I'm going to help you. We'll build a mock-up, quietly, behind the scenes. If this works, we'll be ready to show the CEO and the board. Liam nodded, eyes shining with determination. For the first time, I saw not just an intern or a dropout, but a partner in the fight, to save this company. We worked late into the nights, planning, sketching, and refining every detail. No one else knew. It was our secret, our chance. And as we built that mock-up, I started to believe that maybe, just maybe, Liam's dangerous idea was exactly what we needed to turn everything around. Just as Liam and I finished the prototype, disaster hit hard and fast. Our largest client, the one responsible for nearly a third of our revenue, pulled out of the contract. Without warning, no explanation, just silence. The news hit the CEO like a punch to the gut. I saw it in his eyes, the weight of failure crushing him. He sat in his office for hours, staring blankly at the phone, unable to believe what had just happened. The boardroom buzzed with whispers and cold stares. Behind closed doors, the executives were ready to act. "We need new leadership," they said. "The CEO is losing control. We can't afford to sink any further." They were preparing to vote him out, to replace the man who had built this company from nothing. The atmosphere at the office shifted overnight. Fear gripped the hallways. Employees whispered about layoffs, about the future slipping away. Morale hit rock bottom. I watched Liam too. He felt the weight, but didn't falter. Somehow, despite everything, he kept working. We were days away from collapse. The company that once seemed unstoppable was now on the edge of ruin, and in that darkest moment, the only chance we had was Liam's idea. With the company's future hanging by a thread, I knew we had nothing left to lose. So I took a risk. I brought Liam straight into the boardroom. The room fell deadly silent the moment he walked in. Gasps. Glares. You could feel the tension crackle like electricity in the air. Who invited him? One board member hissed under their breath. "This isn't an intern's place," muttered another. But I stood firm. "Just hear him out," I said. Liam didn't flinch. He took a deep breath and began. He spoke with calm confidence, explaining the idea we had built together. Every word was clear, every point backed by data we'd gathered late into the night. He wasn't just pitching a product, he was presenting a vision for the future. He showed how the new product would not only fix our current problems, but revolutionize how we connected with our clients. The prototype came alive through his words, transforming from just an idea into a real tangible solution. Then came the twist, the partnership. Liam suggested teaming up with a startup we'd previously ignored. It was a bold move, but one that could open doors and markets we hadn't dared explore. No one on that board had even considered it. As he spoke, I watched the board's expressions change, from skepticism to surprise, then to cautious hope. The CEO sat at the head of the table, usually so quick with a sharp word or a confident nod, but this time, he was silent. Speechless. When Liam finished, the room stayed quiet for a long moment. Then slowly, the CEO nodded. "Let's give it a shot," he said quietly. That day, something shifted. The board didn't just see a dropout anymore, they saw the future of the company standing right in front of them. And for the first time in months, I felt hope. Real hope, because Liam wasn't just saving a project, he was saving all of us. After that incredible pitch, the CEO pulled me aside, his eyes still filled with disbelief. "Emma," he said quietly. "Where did you find this kid?" I hesitated. I didn't know much about Liam beyond what I'd seen in the office, but that question stayed with me. I started digging quietly, carefully. What I found surprised me. Liam hadn't dropped out because he wasn't smart, or because he gave up. He left college to care for his mother, who was seriously ill. He put his dreams on hold to be her caretaker, sacrificing more than most of us could imagine. Before coming here, he'd quietly built a small startup, something he never mentioned, never bragged about. It wasn't flashy or well known, but it caught the eye of a mid-sized tech company and was quietly acquired. Liam never used any of that to get ahead, he never sought attention or special treatment. All he wanted was a chance, just one chance to prove himself, and when he got that chance, he didn't waste it. That's when I realized something important. Sometimes, the brightest minds aren't the ones in the spotlight. Sometimes, the most powerful stories are the ones people don't tell. Liam's strength wasn't just in his ideas, it was in his heart, his resilience, and his quiet determination to keep going when no one believed in him. And that made all the difference. 1 year later, Liam isn't the intern anymore, he's the youngest partner in the company's history. The same people who doubted him now, come to him for advice. The CEO, he's admitted he was wrong. More than once, sometimes I catch the two of them in deep conversation, ideas flying back and forth, laughter in the air, a shared belief that anything is possible. I watch from the sidelines with a quiet smile, remembering the boy everyone ignored. The dropout who didn't fit the mold, who showed up with nothing but a backpack and a stubborn hope. He wasn't just an intern, he was the spark that reignited this company. The reminder that sometimes, the biggest risks bring the greatest rewards, and that real talent isn't measured by degrees or titles, but by heart, grit, and the courage to keep going. Turns out, the dropout saved us all. If this story moved you, please give it a like, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Share it with someone who believes in second chances, because sometimes, all it takes is one chance to change everything. Don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this one. Your support helps us keep these voices alive, and inspire others to believe in the unexpected. Thank you for watching.